Hello, I'm Carol, the CEO and founder of charityglobal.com. Charity is the one site that helps you assess what your nonprofit needs and brings together free resources and learning tools from the top experts in the field. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most controversial aspects of a campaign, feasibility studies. Having done dozens of campaigns, both as a nonprofit CEO and as a consultant, I've seen nonprofits succeed and fail. I've seen them struggle, hit home runs with their campaigns. Some did studies, others didn't. A feasibility study can be a critical litmus test to whether or not an idea or new project can succeed. And I've seen more than one study come back with heartbreaking or even controversial results that stunned the board and caused the organization to step back and reevaluate everything. I've also seen the results ignored. The campaign moved forward, sometimes working with new donors, but often causing donors to lose faith in the leadership and eventually causing the nonprofit to close its doors. Typically, if you're thinking about launching a campaign or if you need to raise a significant amount of money and you really aren't sure where to start, someone inevitably will mention that you need to do a study. In fact, many consultants will tell you that the first step in a campaign has to start with a feasibility study, and they won't work with you unless you agree to do one. So nonprofits often dismiss the idea of doing a study immediately, and with good reason, for the same reason that I did. Feasibility studies are extremely expensive, and these days they can range between $20,000 to $50,000 depending on the scope. And what you may not know is somewhere between 50 to 70% of the time, they result in a recommendation that the nonprofit is not ready to move forward without additional work. Most consulting firms will then require a brand new study for an additional 20 to 50,000 after that recommended work is done. And this is why they're so controversial. I used to be in the no study camp throughout most of my career. And mainly, it's because I didn't know what a study really was. So let's tackle the most basic question. What is a feasibility study, and how do I know if I need one or I'm ready for one? Well, simply, a feasibility study is a process where a nonprofit determines the likelihood that a campaign they'd like to undertake will be successful. We're going to cover the process in one of our other videos in the Learn section, but try to think about a feasibility study not as an optional step, but rather as part of launching a campaign, part of the planning process. It's not really optional to ask the opinion of your donors before you ask them to invest tens or even hundreds or millions of dollars in a project. The study is a step where you gain buy-in and you ask their thoughts and suggestions prior to finalizing your plan. Most nonprofits who don't hire a consulting firm for this step do it informally, and they call it cultivation. But the problems arise when a plan is developed internally without donor input and feedback, and the first time they hear about it is when they're asked for money. By formalizing this cultivation step, your nonprofit can get the feedback and let your donors know that you really care about their partnership and not just their money. So remember, feasibility studies may have a bad rap, but talking to donors about your plan and really listening to what they have to say is not optional. Whether or not you hire a consultant is. I hope this video was helpful to you in determining how you'll launch your next campaign. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just email me directly at carol.wick@charityglobal.com or let me know what other tools that we can provide to help you grow your mission.